Live. Okay. And just at the nod of the head, we'll be live.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
First of all,
we'd like to thank everyone for attending. There's council members who will be joining us on the dais in just a moment, but we'd like to thank so much for all of those who are with us and those who are watching us via our YouTube channel. We thank you so much for tuning in, and feel free to participate. At this time, we do have a quorum, so we will now call the Town of Magonia Park regular council meeting of July 7th, 2020 into session. Roll call, please.
Mayor Albright.
Here.
Councilmember Green. Here. And Councilmember
Here.
McConnell.
Here.
Thank you so much. At this time,
Thank you so much. At this time, let us stand for our invocation, please.
The most kind and gracious
Father, we thank you so much for the opportunity that you've given us to enter into this day, a day which we know is a gift. And so we thank you so much for all of the blessings that we've experienced thus far. We pray and ask now that as we enter into the mission that we have been given, that is to act on behalf of the Town of Magonia Park and all of those who are associated with it. We pray that all that we say and do here be pleasing to thee. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. I'll pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. You may be
Thank
seated.
you so much. You may be seated.
At this time, we'll attend
At this time, we'll attend to our agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, or substitutions to the agenda?
Mr. Mayor, for the agenda that you have in front of you, there's not any additions, but since we put the agenda out on Thursday afternoon, we did item 7F, discussion on the approval of various road repairs by Sunshine Services in an amount not to exceed $4,118.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the notation. Are there any additions, substitutions, or any other clarifications for the agenda?
Seeing that there is none.
Seeing that there is none, motion, please.
Has been moved that we accept.
Has been moved that we accept the agenda as submitted. Is there a second? Has been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, aye. Aye.
Same sign.
All same sign.
Thanks so
It is
much.
carried. Thanks
As you
so much.
follow along with
As
us,
you
our
follow
next
along with us, our next items, of course, those are for our consent agenda. These are items that are on the agenda that are annotated with an asterisk. Now, for this particular meeting, we have item 7A. This is bills and vouchers in the amount of $196,371.09 of our general fund. We have bills and vouchers in the amount of $1,204.25 from our utility fund. We also have item 7B. This is bills and vouchers in the amount of $116,817.02 from our utility fund. And bills and vouchers in the amount of $3,912.64 from our utility fund. And we also have items 1601 Paxson Avenue and 1620, which are for discussion, however, appearing on the consent agenda as well. Are there any items to be removed or added to the consent agenda?
Seeing that there are none.
Seeing that there are none,
And let the record
reflect that Vice Mayor
Johnson is on the
dais.
At this time, we're
And at this time, we're attending to our consent agenda. If there's no items to be added or deleted from our consent agenda, motion, please.
Make motion we approve consent agenda.
Has been properly moved.
Has been properly moved and seconded. Any questions on that motion?
Hearing none.
Hearing none. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All same sign. It is
Thanks so much.
carried.
We'll continue
Thanks so much. We'll continue to move on our agenda. Our next item is item 4A. This is a presentation of a public hearing on the installation of sewer services to the following locations as noted on the agenda. Okay?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, today at 4 o'clock, the clerk, myself, and our town engineer, we did a YouTube presentation, and we just want to recap that, and it should be up and running for you to look at it. But what we did, we gave the public an update on the project for the sanitary sewer expansion in Bryn Mawr, on Jeffrey and Sherwood. And we just wanted to go over the affected properties. First of all, 5350 Jeffrey, 5400 Jeffrey, 5450 Jeffrey, 5500 Jeffrey, 5550 Jeffrey, 5351 Jeffrey, 1600 Sherwood, 1601 Sherwood, 1604 Sherwood, 1605 Sherwood, 1608 Sherwood, 1609 Sherwood, 1611 Sherwood, 1612 Sherwood, 1613 Sherwood, and 1616 Sherwood. So the purpose is to give everyone an update on where we're at. So I would describe it this way. We're about three-quarters of the way through with this. The installation of the sewer line is complete. Where we're coming up to now is the repaving and resodding of the properties that, warrant that need that. That's gonna be happening, should be, we were delayed by some rain in previous weeks, but before the end of this week, they should be out there starting that. After that part is completed, and all of the punch list items are taken care of with our inspector and also with our water and sewer engineer, we will be putting out for a contract, we'll be putting out an invitation to bid for a contractor to do the work between our line and the property owner's connection. So we'll be putting that out here any day now. That'll be coming back before you to select that contractor. I think I've told most of you in one-on-ones that what you did previously, and Sherry can correct me where I get off track here, you've allowed these property owners to pay the amount back over a 5-year period on their tax bill. And, I would certainly make the recommendation to go that route again, but certainly that'll be your call. But any day now, we'll be putting out an invitation to bid for a contractor to do that work. So, any questions that you may have, I'll be happy to answer that as best I can through this mask.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Councilman Green.
Councilman Green?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That means that after the completion of the one, and this is 8, does that mean all the remaining 2 streets will be Paxton and Sherwood?
Paxton, and there's part of Boardman that needs to be, not on this project, but the next project should include Paxton and Boardman. This project is Sherwood and Jeffrey starting about at the East Place part, going back to Shore, all the way to Lake Shore.
Alriady, any other questions?
Alrighty, any other questions as it relates to this item?
Questions or comments?
Any questions or comments?
The three in red. Said they're, I guess they was on the map or submitted with the map.
These three are like right on the corners, Jeffrey or Sherwood. These will not be getting service. They were indicated on the map, but will not be hooked up with this.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
Any other questions or comments?
Okay, any questions or comments?
Any questions or comments on the presentation?
Okay, hearing none, thanks so much.
Hearing
And we'll
none,
be
thanks so
updated
much, and we'll be
as we go
updated as we go along.
The
And of course, the ITN will be forwarded to us for review,
attorney.
as well as our attorney.
Put that out on
And
the
then we'll
street,
put that
so to
out on the street, so to speak.
All right, thanks so much.
Okay, all right, thanks so much. Then we'll continue on in our agenda. Our next item is item 5, our Palm Beach County League of Cities Committee.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'll give you the date. Unfortunately, the agenda appears to have been posted on the league's website today, but there's an error in downloading it, so I will download it and circulate it to Manager Metcalf for distribution to you all. You asked me at one of your preceding meetings to give you an update on agenda items on the agendas for the general membership meeting. So as soon as that agenda becomes available, I'll give it to you. But for your calendaring purposes, the next general membership meeting is July 22nd, 2020. That's at 12 p.m. That's via conference call. There is an RSVP required, so if you plan to attend, we want to RSVP to Therese. And that's all I have for you tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Okay,
Any questions?
thanks so much. Any questions or comments for Amity?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
We'll
much.
continue on our agenda.
We'll continue on our agenda. Our next item is item 7C.
This is a request for
And this is a request for approval to set the date,
time,
time, and place of the first public budget hearing,
Tuesday, September 8th,
Tuesday, September 8th, 2020 at 5:45 p.m. here at Town Hall is being suggested. Ken?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, this is a routine item that we have to do every year. By law, we have to set this by approval of council, and these are time-certain events. So we have to not conflict with the school board public hearings and county public hearings. So based on that, we request approval to set the date, time, and place of the first public budget hearing, Tuesday, September 8th, 2020 at 5:45 p.m. Again, time certain, at Town Hall in the William H. Albury III Council Chambers, 1755 East Tiffany Drive, Mangonia Park, Florida, 33407.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Of course, that is,
And of course, that is the
set time.
proposed set time, Amity?
Yes, and just a reminder, you, as you said, you do this every year, but you approve this by motion as well as the next agenda item, so if you can read your motion verbatim as it's written on the agenda for both items, that'd be appreciated.
So noted.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so noted, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay,
Any
any questions before we have the motion?
Questions or
Any
comments?
questions or comments?
That being
That being
see that there are no
see
comments.
that there are no
Motion,
comments.
please.
Motion,
As
please.
stated,
And
just
as
for the
stated,
record,
just for the record, the person making the
just
motion,
read it
if you
as
could
it
just read it as it appears on the agenda for record purposes, that would be
That's
appreciated.
a motion, please.
So motion, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, approval of this, to set the date, time, and place for the first public budget hearing, Tuesday, September 8th, 2020, at 5:45 p.m. at Town Hall in William H. Albury III Council Chamber, 1755 East Tiffany Drive, Mangonia, 33407.
Thank you so much. Motion.
Thank you so much. Motion has been made. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Has been properly moved and seconded. Any questions?
Hearing none.
Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Gray. Councilmember
Yes.
McConnell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
Yes.
And Mayor
Yes.
Albright.
Yes.
It passes
Thank you
unanimously.
so much.
Thank you
Our
so
next
much.
item is item
Our next
7D.
item is item 7D, and this is a request for approval to set the millage rate for the fiscal year 2020, 2021. Ken?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, on this one, I do want to do a little bit of explaining, but the request is for approval to set the 2020, 2021 proposed millage rate at 9.9000 mills. It is currently at 9.8000 mills. The reason that we're asking for this is that we do anticipate some revenue shortfalls from the state. We're also looking at an increase from West Palm Beach Fire and Rescue, 8% increase in their contract. Now, just, for council's comfort level, if you set this tonight, during the budget process, you can always go back. You can always reduce it. And the reason we ask for this to be set tonight is just in case we do need to set it at this amount. You can always go back, reduce it back to where it's at, or lower, of course, if you wanted to, but just for us to have a starting point, really in the budget, we're requesting the 9.9000.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You've heard the explanation. Any questions?
Any comments or questions?
Any comments or questions as it relates to the proposed millage rate?
Any comments or questions?
Any comments or questions?
Okay. And just for the record.
And just for the record, Ken and I had our weekly on
So
yesterday.
we sort of went through.
And so we sort of went through all of the pitfalls and the advantages of doing so. And so I did want to just state for the record that it is always our hope and our desire that we never have to raise the millage rate. In fact, if we could just lower it, that would always be the desired thing. But because we don't have the numbers yet from the state, I'm okay, at least in my vote, to set it at this because we can always go down once we get those numbers. Okay?
If there's any other questions?
If there's any other questions or comments?
Okay. Hearing none.
Okay?
Motion, please.
Hearing none, motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve, set the 2021 proposed millage rate at 9.9000.
Motion has been made.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
It has been properly moved.
It has been properly moved and seconded. Are there any questions on the motion?
Hearing none. Roll call,
Hearing
please.
none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Green.
Yes.
Councilmember
Yes.
McConnell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
Yes.
And Mayor
Yes.
Albright. It passes
Yes.
unanimously.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Our
so
next
much.
item is
Our next
7E.
item is item
This
7E,
is
and this is
the
a discussion on the approval of the CPI payment to the City of West Palm Beach Fire Department. This is, of course, for our contracted fire services. Ken?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Town Council, thank you again for your attention. We had, well, I'll say the manager had left the mayor in a very uncomfortable position last week as he was trying to get a good conversation going with the West Palm Beach mayor about potential sewer services coming up. And I guess the West Palm Beach mayor had received information from his staff that we still owed for a previous CPI increase from a few years back. So the mistake is on mine completely, Mayor. I apologize we left you in that position. We hope this clears it up, and with approval tonight, we will hand deliver a check tomorrow morning to City Hall. But what this is, the total amount that we were behind based on, and I'm okay if somebody else wants to jump in and clarify this story, but I'm gonna guess 2013 to 2014, we got behind on a CPI. That amount was roughly $34,000. Council approved for this budget year, based on the information that we gave you, which was somewhat erroneous, to catch that up. We had that amount at about 21 or 22,000, which we did pay. But we're finding out that this still leaves us about 13,000 short of being called up. So this would come from contingency. The bookkeeper has supplied a little chart that may help you understand where we got behind and how we got behind. But the bottom line, we went back, we checked with several sources, or at least a couple of sources on their end, and we do owe this amount. So the ask for tonight is that we're allowed to make the payment of $13,422.26 to the City of West Palm Beach for fire and rescue services that we still owe.
All right, thanks so much. And just
All right, thanks so much. And just before the vote, additional clarification.
just for
Is that,
those who may be
just for those who may be listening, so that we can clarify, that the CPI is the amount of the increase. So we have always paid every month in terms of the contracted amount. What had taken place is that we were not notified. They did not bill us for the increase over a period of years, and then they sort of notified us, oh, we forgot to bill you for the increase every year. And so just the increase was that amount that we owed, and so we did have conversation, yes, let's pay it. And so it had been paid in increments, and my understanding was that we had paid that last payment as well. But not a problem. I did couch it by, when I spoke with the mayor of West Palm Beach, I stand to be corrected, and we will correct the record if indeed we owed. So it was covered.
Yes, Ms. Green?
Yes, Ms. Green? Councilwoman Green?
I just want to make sure I heard you correctly, is that West Palm Beach did not notify us?
Correct. There is a standard within the industry that allows them to increase their rates a certain percentage. So they, I guess,
Maybe they did or
did not on their side, but they never notified us. So for a couple of years, an increase could have taken place, but they never told us it was taking
So we
place.
continued to pay
So we
the
continued to
amount that
pay
was
the amount that was contracted and negotiated and contracted. But that additional amount that they could have charged us, that percentage every year, let's say 1% on top of a dollar, for instance, as an example. We didn't pay that because we were never notified. Or never billed for it. So once they billed us for that additional percentage of the increase,
Not the base that we were paying.
not the base that we were paying, but the increase, then we said, okay, great, we'll pay it. And so we paid, I think, in 3 installments, 3 or 4 installments.
So my
And so my understanding was that we had already cleared it off the books when I had the conversation last week with the mayor. But we still had this one last payment.
So, but we pay every
So,
month.
but we pay every month
This
for the
is just the
service.
increase.
This is just the increase.
But then, did we know about the increase? I know what you're saying, that but we,
Yeah, they didn't,
Yeah,
they didn't tell us time.
they didn't tell us timely.
that was going to be.
Correct.
an increase.
Right, they told
Correct,
us-
right, they told us,
Until the increase occurred and then.
No, well, they advised us.
no, well, they
I think, and I
advised
stand
us,
to
I
be
think, and I stand to be corrected here as well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They advised us
They advised us a couple of years later that they forgot to bill us.
But did we know that was going to be an increase?
No.
That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking. Why is that legal? Why is that legal?
Well, the agreement allows for them to do.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
It does.
Based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Is that the way we got up? That the way we got up with Riviera, got in trouble with Riviera Beach? It sure sounds shaky.
Similar.
Similar.
I'm being ironic, funny, but it just sounds like it's not fair, especially, anyway, all right.
And that's always been the
Yeah,
argument.
and that's always been the argument that as a customer, I mean, you go into a store and they charge you $5 for something, then they call you later and say, we sorry, that should have sold for $10.
You know, and you're the customer
You know,
saying,
and
well,
you're the
you sold it
customer
to
saying,
me for
well, you
$5.
sold it to me for $5.
But it's-
I understand
but
that,
it's-
Mr. Mayor, but we have a contract. I'm sorry, I need to talking to you. Mr. Attorney, I understand what the mayor is saying, but that's what's in the contract. What's in the contract?
That's very commonly a contractual provision, because especially in the case of longer term contracts, or you can think of it as an interest, an increase in an amount per year, because these contracts sometimes are 5, 10, 15-year contracts, so it's an incremental increase that's allowed by contract. It's very common in utility.
Even though it's not there. Even though it's not there, it's not, okay.
And it's built into the contract so that there can be an adjustment over time. I can't speak to the notices because I wasn't privy to that, but it's very commonly contracted that way.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
Any other questions?
Any other questions or comments as it relates to this item?
Again, I apologize.
Not a problem.
Not a problem. Again, I did
Let him know that I stand.
let him know that I stand to be corrected, and will correct it, and we're doing so tonight, so.
So we'll only reduce.
So we'll only reduce your salary by 5%.
Okay. Alrighty. I think- no, not a
Alrighty, no, not a problem, not a
Okay,
problem.
alrighty,
Okay,
so
alrighty,
seeing that there's no
so seeing that there's no other
questions
questions or comments, your pleasure, motion please.
Where be the last one?
Yes, this is as it relates.
Yes, this
to
is as it
items,
relates to
items
item 7F.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
item 7.
I'm sorry, item 7E.
D?
7E.
7E.
I move that the request for approval to set the 2020 through 21 proposed millage rate at, no, which one? Which one?
7E. as in
E, I'm sorry.
Eddie.
Discussion on the approval of a CPI payment to the City of West Palm Beach Fire Department.
Okay, motion has been.
Okay, motion has been made, is there a second?
Has been.
Second.
properly moved and
Has been
seconded.
properly moved and seconded, all in favor, aye.
Pose same
Aye,
sign.
pose same
It
sign.
is carried. Thanks so
It
much.
is carried, thanks so
Our next
much.
item is
Our next item is item
This is a
7F,
discussion
and this is a discussion on the approval of various road repairs by Sunshine Services Unlimited in the amount not to exceed $4,118. Ken?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, it seems like this is an annual occurrence now, and this is the company that we use, and I would put this under the category of emergency repair based on the condition of some of these roads. And I did go out and take some pictures of different areas. Now, what happens, our guys are very capable of filling potholes, and they do a good job of that. And they're, for the time that they have, they're pretty much on top of it. However, we get, 2 weeks of heavy rain like we've had, it can make a difference in the condition of these streets. So we do get behind, and some of the asphalt gets in such disrepair that we have to bring in a specialized company to do this work. I remember last year we had to do this, and I think the amount was somewhere between $4,300 and $4,500. This year it's right at the same amount. I know that I took a gentleman through town late last week. We saw really bad places. Now, these are just the worst places. Again, some of the more minor areas, our guys will take care of that, and they have taken care of quite a few. But on Foster Road, there's some real bad areas. 50th Street is a disaster. Just awful. 52nd Street, there's around the bend where it's just right in front of the gate to Tri-Rail. There's a really bad spot. Pictures are in here. Now on 53rd Street, later on we're going to have a pretty significant paving project on 53rd Street. The area that I took pictures of for this is not included in that. So these are areas that are not going to be included in our paving project later on. So the request under, an emergency, I consider it an emergency, is that we allow for this company that we've used in the past. I did send the agreement over to the attorney today, and I don't know how much time she's had to really look at it, but maybe pending review of that agreement, if you're so inclined to approve this.
If I may, I did have a chance to briefly review it, as is always my recommendation for the town, I would recommend that we prepare our standard agreement. So any approval tonight, you could approve the amount that's set forth, but I would not recommend signing, this proposal as it exists. I would recommend preparing our standard template agreement, which has all of the language that we, like to see. That can be done quickly. I'll get it to Mr. Metcalf in the morning, rather than actually signing their proposal. That's amenable to the town.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much. Any other information from administration or our attorney?
Any questions or comments?
Any questions or comments of council?
Are they gonna repair all of these?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ask the other.
Now,
Ask the other.
my problem is for $4,000 and some dollars, they're not gonna be doing a very good job. I don't see how they can do all that for that amount of money.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
Okay, Councilwoman Green.
Okay, Councilwoman Green and then Vice Mayor.
That was what I was gonna say. When you mentioned 53rd Street, that's gonna come out of that too?
Not the big paving job. Some of the minor stuff that you see pictures of, that would be of the $4,100.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The 53rd Street is not gonna come out of that 4,118.
Not the entire paving project,
No.
This is different.
No, I just said 50, you were talking about, the one you specified was 53rd, that was bad. The worst of all, the way you talked.
50th Street.
50th Street.
Yes.
And the way you were up, I'm going with Councilman McConnell. The way you were explaining it, I was wondering, like he does, how that would come out of how you would do 50th Street with $4,000.
Well, I guess I should clarify. They're not doing an overlay. They are literally patching sections.
Still seem
It is
out of $4,000.
nothing but patchwork.
Must be a little bit of
It's not an
patching.
overlay. They're not doing
I understand.
a fifth of a mile or anything like that. It is literally patchwork.
Oh, well.
And we have used them in the past. They've done well.
How long is it gonna last for $4,000? Come back next year.
Vice Mayor.
Vice Mayor?
That somewhat answers my question, but you see there are several spots on 50th Street, several spots on 52nd Street. Does that mean it's just gonna be like just a pothole covering? It will not be at all in distance?
Your description is accurate, yes, ma'am.
So when you do the potholes, it just adds to future disruptions in the road, because it's not a solid piece of work.
Oh, that's the main pothole.
So I understand what you're saying, but as emergency, just so that the road is smoother for those vehicles that have to travel that span. Is there consideration in the plans for a more complete paving of these streets?
The Vice Mayor, the engineer has produced a 5-year roads plan, which I think I've distributed a copy to everyone. For this budget year, East Avenue, there's 2 huge sections that will be paved, and also on 53rd Street from, what's the lift station we have? What is that? What's the company? 53rd
Tower Works.
The Tower Works?
The Tower Works.
The Tower Works?
Tower.
The Tower?
Tower's located.
Where the tower is located?
Well, there's a significant stretch basically from Hill Avenue to Mall Way. That stretch is going to be Burke Oil. Yes, that's right.
But that's in the future plan.
That's for this current fiscal year. That is in the budget. What we've identified on 53rd Street in this packet is not included in that.
I'm just asking, because I do recall previous, I don't know how many years ago, we did some patchwork and we said we would have a plan to take a more comprehensive covering of these roads instead of that continuous patchwork, because we know patchwork only lasts for so long, and when these other parts of the road will be weakened and still needing repair. So I just wanted to know when is this going to be projected into plan, so we don't have this incomplete street concept going on here.
Well, again, there's two projects for this year, this current. Now, moving forward into the new budget year, and years after that would, if our engineer has his way, all of our surtax money that we get from the county will go to road improvement, all of it. So, if that helps at all.
Would you say that Foster and 50th and 51st, 50th and 52nd Street has not, we don't have a plan for this?
No, all of the streets are identified in the plan. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to clarify.
And they've been identified by priority and by cost.
The budget hearing, where we get more details on what is covered and planned, so we'll know what we need to project toward to complete the work.
Yes.
Okay. Might take some months.
Might take some months. Councilwoman Green?
On a follow-up to Vice Mayor Johnson. How many of these streets we're referring to dirt roads?
Are dirt roads? None.
Aren't there still some dirt roads over in the hill section? Yeah, because I know one that goes, the street that goes toward that church. I know I saw some dirt. Okay, I hope so, maybe never mind, okay.
Okay. Other
Ready?
questions or comments?
Other questions or comments?
Okay, I'm wrong. I thought there were.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Any other questions or comments?
Okay. Yes,
I'm sorry, sir.
Yes, Councilwoman Green?
When you say pothole, that's why I asked that. What do you refer to?
It's literally a hole in the asphalt. Literally a hole. And it can be anywhere from 3 inches to 2 feet. We have a sinkhole on East Avenue.
That's why I thought Vice Mayor Johnson was referring to. I thought I'd seen some pothole. Maybe I must have been dreaming, okay. I had to go back.
Right.
Maybe that's what I'm talking about. All right.
Okay.
Now, as it relates to the repaving that's going to take place, have we selected a vendor yet? Have that gone out? Okay, so I was going to say if they are, okay, I was going to say if they were the selected vendor, that might explain if they're already here, that kind of a thing.
Other
So,
than that, and
other than that, and just looking at their proposal, look, they're saying that they're going to clean various areas, they're going to pile lime rock, and grade and compact it, and I'm going to defer to Councilman McConnell, who knows more about this industry than I do, I'm sure. But they're going to furnish and install 1 inch of the asphalt. So they're going to come in and basically when you do the potholes, if over a period of time, like the road out there and the pavement out there, doesn't have the same look, it's not the same color. So you'll see when they come in and patch holes, you'll see, that it's been patched because it's a brand new, basically tar kind of a stuff that they put down. So you'll see the patchwork kind of a thing. So what they're not going to do is patch it, then overlay it
as well,
because that's not what I'm seeing here. It's just patching.
just patching what you
Okay,
see.
just patching what you see.
Did they
Make mention, because now, for instance, if I were to turn to Foster Road,
That's MH 825.
and that's MH 825,
You'll see how the road
you'll see how
itself
the
is
road
cracked.
itself is cracked.
Right, there are holes.
Right, there are holes at the very edge on the right side of the road. There are holes that obviously are going to be
But if
patched.
you look, the road.
But if you look, the road is just worn.
Mayor Albert, where are you?
This is,
This is Foster Road, the picture, the Foster Road.
821.
Okay, I couldn't understand what he said. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
And if you look
Okay,
at the
and if you look at the bottom
right-hand
right-hand side, IMG 825.
825.
So you'll see,
right at the edge of the road, there's
in,
like cut in, like somebody took a bite out of it.
further down.
And further down toward the left.
Those, of course, I'm sure.
Those, of course, I'm sure are going to be patched.
But if you take a look.
But if you take a look on the top of the road, you know, where there's cracking.
Right, so I'm not sure.
Right, so I'm not sure, they're not going to do anything with that, it's just going to, okay, just wanted to be clear.
Okay.
Okay,
I mean, that was my concern about the complete road being there, the patchwork here, it's not going to, last long, because. I thought that was dirt. Another portion is going to crack up and, you know, give the same problem, so we need to focus on getting it.
Oh, certainly.
oh,
Right,
certainly,
now in the-
right, and now in the immediate need, however, in terms of just potholes and so
Just
forth.
as a municipality.
Just as a municipality.
You want to get them done.
You want to get them done because
we're
we're in a very litigious society. People, boom, tear up their car, then you get a letter saying you have to fix my car, so.
There are some things.
There are some things in the interim you have to do, unfortunately, that cost a little money.
Now, we can get all.
Now, we can get all of the roads done. I
Van's
think Van's total estimate for total road repairs was
$2 million.
yeah, about 2 million, so if someone.
$2 million.
We have $2 million, we can
Just not do this and.
just not do
all
this
of the
and do all of the roads. if we-
roads. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so until that.
Okay, so
happens-
until that happens, we have to do some patching along the way, so. Okay.
Alrighty, other questions?
Alrighty, other questions or comments?
Hearing none. Now,
Hearing
this was
none.
brought before
Now, this was brought before you for discussion and for
We
decision.
wanted to make sure that
We
everybody
wanted to
was
make sure that everybody was involved in the decision of this.
if there are no other
So
questions
if there are no other questions or comments, a motion, please.
Move that we approve various road repairs by Sunshine Services Unlimited in the amount of $1,118 as indicated in the request.
Motion has been made. Is there a
Motion has
second?
been made. Is there a second?
It has been properly moved.
It has been properly moved and seconded that we
Approve the
approve the
road repair work.
road repair work by Sunshine Service Unlimited in the amount not to exceed $4,118. That has been moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Sign.
Pose same sign.
It is carried. It was unanimous.
It is carried. It was unanimous.
much.
Thank you
those
so
are the
much.
action
So those are
items
the
that we
action
have.
items that we have. We move now to our public comment section. If there's any comments from the public, we'll entertain those.
We need to wait about a minute.
For your questions.
Righty.
Okay.
So just
Righty?
as-
So just as,
45-second delay for
Okay.
oh, thanks so much.
thanks so
Since
much.
there is a
Since there is a
45-second
45-second delay, we'll give that period of time to see if we have anybody out there, or any resident or business person or guest who has any comment by way of the YouTube. We'll give them that opportunity.
In the list of our funds, is there education on here, how much public attending?
Okay.
On
Okay.
YouTube, it's live, and the only way you can tell is if
Okay.
it's, that's where the 45-second delay time.
Seeing that we have a.
Seeing that we have
Exhausted that 45
exhausted that 45 minutes in addition to some other time, 45 seconds, I'm sorry.
Since that time has been
Since that time has been exhausted, we'll now close the floor to public comments, and we'll continue on our
So next we
agenda.
have our-
So next we have our reports. Ken?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, thank you for your attention and time this evening. I'm going to be very brief because we do have a wonderful situation following this in the utility fund budget workshop, so I'll be very brief. I did put in front of you a manager's report, very brief and front, and I think one paragraph on the back. I'm going to run through it real quick just to give you a few highlights. We've had some conversation in one-on-one settings about the website, and I have began to reach out to different companies. The first one that I've talked to is a group that does the hosting, they did the web design, and they do the hosting for the city of South Bay, the city of Palm Beach Gardens, the town of Palm Beach, and Port of Palm Beach. So just to give you, there's some details in here that will let you know what we're kind of looking at as far as cost goes. I'm going to continue to reach out to different municipalities to see who they use. I do know that the company we're familiar with, Unicode, they design and host websites as well. So, we've just begun this, and this is following up on conversations that we've had. Bad news from today, actually this started last week and continued today, and the bad news I received today is one of the units that cools the sheriff's office, one of the air units, has lost its compressor, and the compressor cannot be replaced because of its age. What the technician told me today is they don't make those anymore. So the entire unit would have to be replaced, and we're going to be looking at something between, now this is just a guess, but it's an educated guess, 7,500 to 10,000 on that, not budgeted. So I know this particular unit cools the area for the reception area, the captain's office, the sergeant's office, back on that end. So we will be looking at that. We might even, if the situation allows us to, I'm going to get as many quotes as I can, as quickly as I can. We might have a special meeting ahead of our budget workshop next Tuesday, so the council can at least discuss this and make a decision. But that is bad news, but it looks, as we sit here tonight, it looks like it's unavoidable. We'll continue the conversation.
Just before you move from that
Just
item.
before you move from that item, Ken, I think we have a question. Vice Mayor, and then Councilman Green.
Air conditioning for that end of the building where the sheriff's station, does that also cover the offices on the building, or do they have their own?
Mayor Johnson,
Alrighty.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
Alrighty.
Vice Mayor Johnson, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I didn't hear what she said. I didn't hear what she said.
I was asking the air conditioning system that is in place to cool the sheriff's office area of the building. Is that the same system that covers the offices on the far end of the building?
On their side, I do not believe so. The way I understand it, there's 3 units that cools that area. And this particular one is on this end. That's my understanding.
Okay,
Okay,
Councilman
okay.
Green.
Councilman Green?
I always look at the little pennies.
I'm thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it, if I'm the landlord
And I'm renting.
to town manager Ken Metcalf,
And your air conditioning.
and your air condition,
Something, it conks
something,
out.
it conks
It's my
out.
responsibility.
It's my
to
responsibility to repair it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
They are not paying us.
They are
rent.
not paying us rent, are they? No.
Technically, they pay you $1 per year.
Okay, okay.
Which means we are
Which
not
means
their
we are
landlord.
not their landlord.
You are according to your contract.
That's what I was.
That's what I asked you.
Because I was trying to.
Because I was trying to,
Okay,
okay.
okay, in that.
Okay, in
and-
that,
and I-
and
I have no comment
I have
against
no
our
comment
deputies.
against our
I'm not
deputies,
saying-
and I'm not saying this because you're standing there either.
But I am.
But I am very satisfied with our deputies, however,
I just don't.
I
think
just
that
don't think that
We should be paying.
we should be
For
paying
their
for their
$10,000
$10,000
air conditioning that costs
air conditioning that conks
They
out.
should be able to pay it for
They should be able to pay it
themselves.
for themselves.
And I think that
And I think that next time the contract comes around, when it's renewed, I hope,
Whether I'm here or not.
that whether I'm here or not, I hope that we put that in their contract, because they pay for it themselves, because I think that we pay them enough, where at least they can pay to repair a $10,000 air conditioner.
It's just my opinion.
It's just my opinion.
Okay,
Alrighty.
alrighty. Councilman McConnell?
Be what it may, it's still our building. It's still our building, and if it's in the contract, I don't see how we can get out
No, I said the next. No, I said the next time the contract is up for renewal, I hope that we will, when we send to the attorney, I hope that we'll be able to negotiate or, try to discuss that they pay for their own air condition when it breaks down. Not now, I said when we renew the contract. Because we pay that $1.5 million is a lot of money, and I'm not complaining about the cost, but I am complaining about the cost that we pay them $1.5 million and they can't afford to repair a $10,000 air conditioner.
Okay,
That's the next time.
Okay.
That's the next time the contract up.
okay.
Any other?
Alrighty, any other comments or conversation, or?
Just two things.
Just two things. One is that,
Just in terms of the contract.
just in terms of the contract, and so noted all of the comments.
understand that
But
in
understand that in terms of
generally
negotiations, what
happens
generally
is
happens is that if indeed that were a subject of conversation, there would be sort of a
I'm sure if I'm negotiating.
I'm sure if I'm negotiating, for
And then
instance,
I learned
and
that,
then I
okay,
learned
well,
that,
great.
okay, well, great,
I'm- The contract.
the contract, I'm here
because
because of the convenience of the residents of Magnolia Park, which was what we required. We want you to be here locally, not coming from a gun club. We need you to be
And so
here.
that was part of the-
And so that
I'm
was
sorry,
part of
just,
the, I'm sorry, just, so we just kind of briefly
So for the
explained.
convenience of
So
our
for the
residents
convenience
and
of our
have that ready
residents and have that
response,
ready response, we felt that it was okay, much like we had our previous department. They didn't pay anything because they were our guys.
So we still view
So
them as
we
our
still
guys
view them as our
and
guys,
provide
and
the
we
space, but
provide the space, but by way of, I guess, law or rule, we have to charge something, much like we did when Congressman Hastings was here. So it's just nominal, just for the sake of adhering to the tenets of a contract. But now keep in mind too, that if indeed this council decided that, well, we're gonna have to build in some cost, begin to increase, so that in case we have these kind of things, we can repair the building. Then keep in mind on the other side, they could build that in too. That, okay, then great, we're gonna go up 2% just to make sure we cover anything that you might. So it's how you wanna negotiate.
We still talking about the $10,000?
We're talking about the, we're still, same subject as it relates to the Sheriff's
And keep in mind,
Department.
too, just
And keep in mind too, just
they've
as
been very
information,
good to
they've
us
been
as it
very
relates
good
to
to us as it relates to
increases and all of that.
increases and all of
Don't wanna
that.
put too many
Don't want
things
to
on the
put too many
record
things on the record in case other municipalities are listening.
They've been
But
very good to
they've been
us.
very good to us.
So,
My position or my suggestion or my comment would be that it's our responsibility, it's our building. So the cost is something we incur.
Part of the cost of doing
Part of the cost of doing business.
When you're a landlord.
When you're a landlord, there are
costs
costs associated with doing business.
that's how I see
And
it.
so that's how I see it.
Councilman
Okay?
Green?
Now, Councilman Green?
That's why I was
Councilwoman Green, I'm
asking,
sorry.
were these things the same? I'm talking about the air conditioning. Maybe it's because I can't understand everything you're saying, and I was wondering what does that have to do with the air conditioning?
It has, you made mention of the next time the contract is negotiated, so I was speaking in,
So I was
yes.
speaking in that
So I was speaking in that
context.
context. So it was just information that, yes, we can negotiate that in the next contract.
They could
But then
also say,
they could also say, you know
we're gonna go
what,
at
but then we're gonna go at
5%
5% as opposed to 2% to cover that.
It's how you
So
wanna-
it's how you wanna,
see it.
where you wanna see it.
The other thing we could do.
The other thing we could do is, they're advertising those $88 ACs. So,
Captain, can we just?
Captain, can we just
I'm just
get
kidding.
to, no, I'm just kidding with you.
I have seen those on the
I have seen those on the internet, so we can.
What did you say, Mayor? What did you say,
I
Mayor?
was just kidding.
I was just kidding with the
They have
captain.
those
They have those $88 portable
advertising.
ACs they're advertising.
with the
I was just kidding with the
Okay,
captain.
so we do
Okay.
have,
So we do have that to be considered,
information
so
at
that's
this point.
information at this point.
Not an action item.
Okay, not an action item. Question, however,
and again, so many
and
things
again,
happened
so
over
many
the
things
course of
happened
years,
over the
and so
course of
forgive
years,
me
and so
if I
forgive me
forget.
if I
But didn't we
forget.
have those,
But didn't we have
units
those
replaced
units replaced recently?
Several years ago, you had 2 replaced.
That wasn't one of them?
That wasn't one of them?
We've had some major repairs, at least one or two of them.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. A lot of things sort of meld
A
together.
lot of things sort of meld together, you
we
know.
have had
So I know
some
we
work
have
done
had some
on
work
units
done
up there. I
on
think we
units
got
up there. I think
4 or
we've got,
5
what, 4 or 5 up
Maybe
here,
that
so
wasn't.
maybe that wasn't.
Okay, just
Okay,
for
and
information.
just for information.
Any other comments or questions?
Any other comments or questions as it relates to that item?
gonna come
Because
before
that's
us
going to
in
come
action.
before us in an action
At the next
item,
meeting?
probably at the next meeting.
When we had the raccoon problem, when they were coming through the AC, what did they do? Just repair the ductwork so they couldn't get in? But they didn't, there wasn't no replacement of units at that time.
No replacement of units. We felt like at the time we were gonna have to when it first happened, but that didn't turn out to be the case.
Okay.
Alrighty, so we'll get those.
Alrighty, so we'll get those quotes and
Put that before council.
put that before council as quickly as possible so that they're comfortable over there.
But until, in the interim.
But until, in the interim, the $88,
We will try and take care of this.
but we'll try and take care of it as quickly as possible.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Right, anything else, Ken?
Right, anything else, Ken?
Yes, sir. We talked about earlier the Rainwater Sanitation Sewer Extension, so I won't go into detail on that unless you have questions. A couple of other items that came up at one of our previous meetings was the doing an additional food distribution date. And we are talking with the Palm Beach County Food Bank concerning that. Very reputable group, right in line with the county, do a lot of things for them. So we have a conference call set up for Thursday. We're going to kind of hammer out the details on that and hopefully set the date. They're very much in demand, but the executive director, Ms. Karen, I cannot remember her last name, but she's indicated that she does want to help make that department. And also, we talked about a community issues forum. We're still trying to coordinate that via YouTube. YouTube's not the problem. We can do that like we did our public information meeting this afternoon. We're just trying to get people lined up to participate. That's the biggest thing based on their schedules. But we'll certainly have that scheduled by the end of the month and pull that off. You'll get all the details certainly in the agenda ahead of time. Yes, ma'am.
I'll wait till you finish. I just, a minute and a half of raising my hand.
Okay. And the last thing I wanted to bring up, unless you have questions, I just wanted to thank all the council members. We've really been having some good one-on-ones, very informative. It's very helpful to me. I trust you find it helpful. And our biggest desire is that we inform you and we don't leave you hanging with anything to where you're embarrassed like an additional payment of it or something like that. So we try to inform you. I hope you're finding this to be beneficial. Mr. Mayor, that's all I have unless anyone has questions.
Thanks so much, we appreciate it.
Thanks so much, we appreciate it. Any questions or comments, begin? Councilman Green?
I would just mention you mentioned the community issue forum.
This is just
my feeling. I know the virus hasn't been
a positive and a negative.
a positive and a negative impact on everybody in the world.
And
That community issue forum, I think, is something that
is very important.
is very important for our town, and I would just like to. I feel personally, if everybody in the community is really involved in this, and it's very important that they know about it, and it's very difficult for people to be involved in something of essence.
Every meeting
it's go through Zoom and Facebook and forum and
you just don't get.
you just don't get.
How would I put it?
How would I put it? What
The positiveness
out of an issue forum is too important to me to go through a forum or Zoom or something. And I would just ask
My fellow
councilmen, do you think anything wrong with us if we could just wait? I know only God knows what's going to happen to this forum. But I don't think that, Mr. Metcalf, that we need to rush into it to have it right now. We can wait until, see where we are 3, 4, 5 months from now, so we can maybe come together in some other way other than through a Zoom, because it's not going to work. People,
I don't know, it's just important.
I don't know, it's just too important or something for the town to try to have a community issue forum. And I know right now,
We're talking about having
a charrette, and I can't see to having a charrette through Zoom or Facebook.
So I would just like to ask.
So I would just like to ask my fellow council person
Do they see anything
do
wrong?
they see anything wrong with us putting it off or waiting 4, 5, 6, or 7 months to see whether the
virus is
virus is going to take us before we try to have a community issues forum?
Okay?
It's not my
Okay?
opinion.
It's not my opinion.
Okay, well, we'll come
Okay,
here.
well, we'll come here, then we'll come down from the dais in just a moment. Vice Mayor?
I just want to respond to that. I mean, I can appreciate your concern for involving all the residents. I definitely would love to see all the residents be involved in any community issues forums that we have, because it is for the community. However, historically, we have had maybe at the most 40, 45, the whole community to attend any community issues forums that we've had. And we've had several of them. So it may be that, we could look at how to multiply our social media effect. We have different forms of social media, telephone, YouTube, Zoom, whatever else is available, so that we could have more avenues for them to at least listen and hear and respond to the issues that will be discussed. I don't know if we know what the future holds, and waiting doesn't sound progressive. I think we need to take hold of what we can as soon as we can. Make sure our residents have answers to so many questions that they have now. If we wait 3 months or 5 months, we may not have any difference in our quarantine issues. We don't know that. But we do know we still have questions. We do know we have concerns about our environment, about our culture, about our relationships, about how to react to the legal issues that we're facing day to day. Those will still go on. So my idea is to be able to let our community know that we are concerned enough about their questions. And I would even ask for the staff to consider doing a survey or allowing the community to provide a list of questions to us so that we can have the professionals on hand to respond to those questions in a reasonable time. But the more we do, the better. The sooner the better. I don't think just holding and waiting. We don't know if our state of life would be much better in 4 months or 5 months. We don't know. But we know the questions are there, the concerns are there, so let's try to address them.
Can I follow that?
I appreciate that.
I
and the
appreciate
reason
that, and the reason
It's so important to me.
it's so important to me
It's some of
is
the very
some of the
issues
very issues you were referring to.
There's a lot we need.
There's a lot we need
Together.
together.
First, we need to start working together,
Something that
if we have a forum,
if we have a forum,
encompasses
it encompasses all of us.
And the
The
last time
we had, and I'm sure the county is going to be involved in this. And I don't want to see the same thing happen
when we had the
last something that was supposed to be involved, all of us.
And until we
And until we involve all of us,
and I mean working
all of us together, it's not going to be successful.
And I was embarrassed
the last time we tried to do something like that, when we were all,
we were supposed to have been
together, but we were not.
And when you're
And when you're going to have any type of anything like a charrette or issues forum, you're going to have to involve the entire town, everybody, because it represents all of us and all of the town and all of our people.
And it's just a
And
learning
it's just a learning curve
that exists right now.
that exists right now, and we haven't made it there. Now, I'm going to use an example. When the county sponsored our testing,
that was for
everybody, not just one person wasn't doing it. The county was doing it.
When I bring
But
up
when I bring up the
learning curve,
something happened, and we embarrassed. I'm gonna be honest now and we embarrassed the town manager because
it was not all of
it was not all of us.
And what
And what embarrassed me, I thought it was being sponsored by the county.
And when
the information was disseminated to
the community, I don't know who took it upon themselves.
That's why it wasn't all of us working together.
When the county
sponsors something, you don't go in and change
what the county
has done to sponsor an event, and that is what happened.
And caused a friction between the town and the county.
And I
personally want to apologize for our town manager because you got caught in the middle. And I personally want to apologize because when I arrived, the county point person was upset with the town manager.
because the
information that the county had disseminated, had put out with that emblem and that it was sponsored by the taxpayer, had been changed.
And she was upset.
And she was upset because it had been changed.
And those are the type of
And those are the type of things that occur when we are not all working together.
And I don't
And
think
I don't think that's possible
for us to work
for
together.
us to work together and everything comes out professionally because we are working together. If we try to put something together during this virus, I just feel like it's almost impossible. And you are right, Vice Mayor. Nobody knows what's going to happen between now 2, 3, or 4 months from now. But I don't think we should rush it.
Because if we rush it,
It's going to end up slapping us in the face like
the testing did.
the testing did.
So I think we need to take
So I think we need to take our time
and all of us
work together, one-on-one,
together.
and put this together.
If we're gonna
Together, if we're gonna work with the county, work together with the county. If we are not, we'll work together we need to work together to put it together so we won't be embarrassed. That was why I said it. I just don't think it should be rushed. If we are going to include everybody in the town of Mangonia Park, if we are going to train,
make sure that
everybody, the kids and the adults are involved. That was why I said that.
Okay. Ken?
Mr. Mayor, I was just gonna say, and of course, council can decide when and where and all that. The good thing about YouTube is that gives people the opportunity to go back. It's happening live tonight with a 45-second delay. But also, like I'm sure at some point tonight, I'm gonna go back and watch the meeting. Same thing with any of these forums that we have, if that's what we call them, or workshops or whatnot, gives citizens, business owners, whoever, the opportunity to go back and watch it, even when they don't get it live. So just going to say that in defense of YouTube, I guess, that's a good thing. So if we have a forum, even if they can't tune in live and certainly can't be here because of the situation we have, they can at least go back and view it later and get the information there.
So let's do this as well, and then I'll come to you before we change the subject. So that for the clarity of those who may be watching, there was some disconnect, something became disjointed with the testing. But before you answer, because we notified everybody. So it was all inclusive. In fact, I walked the whole town, knocking on doors and advising and taking names, and I shared that with you and other council members. The testing, right. That whole effort. So everyone was notified. There was hangers, I think it was, put on doors. So when we talk about it being inclusive, everybody was included. Right. Similarly, when we have our town, when we have our forums, everybody's included. Right. One of the things that we had hoped would happen, and I've said it from here, and I say it as gingerly as I can, is that when we do have them, they're not well attended. Although everyone has been invited, we've solicited input from everyone. So notification is our responsibility. And if we fail to do that, you're absolutely right. If we fail to notify and try and include everybody, then that's on us. If we've met that mission, if we've met that responsibility, and then people don't respond, then that isn't on us. So what we've done through the course of years, we've notified, we've included, we've inclusive. We can't operate outside of the sunshine, so we're always operating in the open and sharing information. So if there was anything that fell apart during the testing, we want to make sure that we kind of clear that, and so for the record, and then we make sure that there's nothing that happens in the future.
The only thing that I was aware of, we had the day of the event, we had the prayer walk conclude at the center. I think the young person, I shouldn't say, well, the person that was in charge, when they saw the prayer walk coming over to the center, I guess they had been under some type of instructions or some type of order that week, especially if there was any protesters or anything like that, they were to pack up and leave. And I think we were quickly able to clear that up. But that was the only thing that I recall that happened the day of.
Okay, so maybe that was it.
Okay, so maybe that was it. They sort of conflated that somehow the prayer walk was preempting their program or something.
See, you made this statement, empty my program. That's the issue I'm referring to.
No, that was a question.
No, I'm gonna, Mr. Metcalf, you hit on the head.
Commissioner
McBernard sponsored
the testing.
VIA through Palm Beach County.
Palm Beach County
put out their brochures, the information that was supposed to be disseminated to the residents.
When I received
the information, and they had professional information, all type of information that was relevant to
the residents,
especially the testing information and the sites and the time.
when that information
got to the residents, it had been run on one sheet.
All the information that
the town had given us. Someone turn it into one sheet of paper.
And put it in a plastic
bag.
And hung it on the door.
And hung it on the doors.
That's what I'm referring
That's what I'm referring to. I didn't want to bring that up.
Which means you
completely changed the format of the county.
and the way they were introducing the testing
to the residents. Andy Green didn't do it.
Mac Bernard
and Palm Beach County did it.
That was changed.
And referring to the march,
I tried to,
matter of fact, I personally
tried to
volunteer to help
with the march,
but no one
said anything.
And
The testing was supposed
to start at 10 o'clock.
I got there 15 minutes
I got there 15 minutes to 9.
And the person who was
over the testing
was there
talking to you. And she was upset.
She was upset, and I
walked up to you and to her, and I said, "What is the point?" And she said, "We didn't know about this."
Which means the county
did
not know about
the march.
This was not my
thing.
This was the
county
testing, not
Addie Green.
Right.
And so that's what
I was referring to, Mr. Mayor.
Right. I think that we are conflating two things now. Because the prayer march was scheduled to start at 7, totally separate, and that was a town sponsored.
No, I was answering your question. You said my thing. I was letting you know it was mine.
But I'm clearing, I have the floor. But what I'm doing is clearing that there was two things taking place, totally and separate from each other. Totally unrelated. Right. So when the prayer march took place, which I was a part of, it ended across the street. We came across at the town's hall, community center. So the testing had not even begun at that point, because we got there well before 9. Correct me if I'm mistaken. So the testing had not started. The prayer walk, we had a prayer. There was no protesting or anything like that. It was a prayer walk. We concluded with the prayer. After that, about 8, correct me if I'm misstated, at about 8:25-ish, I think. So we still got about 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes to go before the actual testing began. I spoke with the gentleman, almost had his name.
No one appeared to be upset.
No one appeared to be upset.
I won't
And I won't discount the conversation you had, because I didn't have that conversation. But when I spoke with the gentleman who was in charge, as well as the young lady from the Palm Beach County Healthcare District, no one appeared to be upset about anything, because we made it very clear. And we actually included them in the prayer.
Right, so I'm,
Right, so
that's where I'm a little confused.
That's where I'm a little confused.
Because if anything went off
the rail, then we need to make sure we don't have that happen next time. But I wasn't sure the train went off the rail, based upon conversations with individuals. Now, as it relates to the hangar, because the,
quite oftentimes,
where the venue is being held,
it's okay to make mention of that.
it's okay to make mention of
We've
that.
gone
We've
to
gone to
John L.
plays
Knight
at the John L. Knight
Center.
Center, right, and it'll say
Fred Hammond is coming to the
Fred
John
Hammond
L.
is
Knight
coming to
Center.
the John L. Knight Center.
James L. Knight Center.
James L. Knight Center. Okay, well, that's the venue. But the artist is also listed as well, because the artist is going to the venue. Palm Beach County Healthcare District came to a town venue. So it was okay to list it.
But I think that's.
But I think that's, so yeah, you would see something like that. On the building, you'll see the venue, and you'll see the person who's coming as well, or the entity
So
that's
that's
coming.
what happened on
So
the-
that's what happened on the flyer. I don't, and I'm trying to remember the specific county newsletter or flyer that
Came out. I didn't see
came out. I didn't see one from the county.
They have sent us, and this is how it happened. Mary Blakeney, I think
Yes.
is her name, the
Yes.
Assistant Emergency Management Director, she helped coordinate everything. She sent us these forms that each individual had to send out. I asked her, was there a flyer that we should be using? And she said, no. No, you make your own flyer if you want to, and just put our information with that flyer. And that's how it happened. We created our own flyer, basically just saying the day, the time, and the place of the testing. Now, in between the time that we created the flyer and sent it out, we had a council meeting. And at the council meeting, we decided to have a prayer walk. And it was suggested that we maybe include the prayer walk time on the flyer for the testing, and we incorporated that. And
That's where you made a mistake.
that was, we did the flyer at the county's urging. They said, create your own flyer.
Absolutely. And we did explain to
Absolutely.
them.
And we did
that,
explain to them that, now you have a captive audience. You have people who otherwise would not have shown up for the testing, here now to be tested, which they thought was a novel idea. So I'm, okay.
But
We'll certainly kind of make sure that, that we attend to things as we have always done, that we don't offend or any.
Because we appreciate.
Because we appreciate, when other entities step in
Provide
and
things for us.
provide things for us, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else on that?
Oh, anything else on that?
For the record, she's receiving information, and they had it, and they didn't provide it. We're not getting it, and that's probably where the conflict. So I think that one entity is telling one elected official or whomever one thing, and then not communicating to.
Correct.
Correct.
To that point.
To that point, and
You got,
Right.
you got that.
And to that
Right.
point, anytime.
And to that point, anytime
so
that, and so that.
We're clear.
We're clear.
And I agree with you.
And I agree with you. There has to be
message.
one message.
Right. And quite often.
Right, and quite oftentimes, one messenger.
That's why you always hear me
That's why
say-
you always hear me say,
We task.
we task the town manager with being, quite oftentimes, that one messenger.
Because we can't.
Right, because we can't be five messengers.
Because at that point in
Right,
time.
because at that point in time, it becomes confusing, and sometimes we have that happen.
We have more than one.
But we have more than one messenger,
That shouldn't
and
happen.
that shouldn't happen.
So.
Right, so, in this situation, we had more than one messenger as well. I know Ken was speaking with Dr. Alonso, right, because he and I talked about that. We spoke with Dr. Alonso, who was in charge of the Palm Beach County Health Department.
And then I
Right,
think,
and then I think Councilwoman Green was having conversations with Commissioner Bernard, and I don't know that the two of them got together.
Right, and so.
Right, and
yeah,
so,
I can
so
see
yeah,
where
I can see where conflict would happen,
Some
or
things would happen because
some
you
things
have
would
two
happen
things
because you have
made a
two
mistake.
things
You
happening.
made a mistake, sir. I wasn't having questions.
No,
I
no, no,
wasn't
no,
having
well,
Oh, no, no,
questions.
no, well, then I,
He was not communicating with me, sir.
So
okay,
how-
so how did
Mike
Bernard become known to us?
Everything goes
that he
through,
was-
everything goes through him.
The only people that I talked to was Ms. Blakeney, I think is her name, emergency management, and Dr. Alonso.
Right.
Because I do remember.
Because I do remember you, you saying that
I set
Commissioner
it up.
Bernard was working.
Okay, I'll let you.
I'm
clarify.
Okay, now let you
I'm
clarify.
sorry, disrespected you. I remember distinctly saying that I had set it up. I spoke to Commissioner McBernard and asked him would he make it possible for us to be tested, the town, because of, they were talking about hotspots and who was not being tested. And once I did that, he took care of everything, and it came straight through this town. I had nothing to do with it until the day that in the March, and the March got involved. When I mentioned it here, then what the date was gonna happen. I mentioned it, where it was gonna happen, thank Mac Bernard, and the next thing I knew, the March came up, and when the March came up, I sat back and let you all do your thing.
Well, I mean, if there was no.
Well, I mean, if there was no conversation, because you initiated a conversation with Mike Bernard, which was great. no one's,
speaking
you know,
against that.
speaking against that.
But I guess what we're saying in
I
terms
guess
of
what we're saying in terms of disconnect, if that information wasn't shared with the town manager, that Commissioner Bernard is working, we could have told Dr. Alonso, never mind. Commissioner Green spoke with Mike Bernard, passed it off to the town manager. Well, then we just coordinated through.
If that didn't happen, then
If
yes,
that
there
didn't
was
happen, then yes, there was some disconnect.
I have a question before you end the conversation regarding it. We received a couple of calls, probably should have sent some to the town manager about it, but how do we find out the number of cases that are in Montgomery Park?
There you go.
That's through the health.
That's through the health.
We get it by zip code, and so it's not specific to Montgomery Park. The 33407 has
Don't
about
say I did, I didn't.
580 cases. Of course, that's Montgomery Park, part of West Palm, and I think
They do geo.
Yeah, they do geo.
they do send that out by zip.
So we can't be separated.
County set up everything.
Yeah. So they're geo mapping.
Say they're geo mapping zip codes, is how they do things.
It wasn't Eddie Green.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, so with that, I guess we're
Beat this one?
sort of beat this one, and so we'll,
Anything else?
okay. Anything else, Ken?
Alrighty.
Okay. Alrighty, Captain?
Okay. Alrighty,
Okay.
report has been.
Alrighty,
submitted by the
report has been submitted by the
Supervisor
captain. Any
Collins.
questions or comments for the captain?
Okay, hearing none. Thanks so
Okay,
much, Captain.
hearing none. Thanks so much, Captain. Amity?
Nothing specific for you.
Okay,
Thank you.
good, thanks so
Okay,
much.
well, thanks so
sorry,
much.
Councilman.
I'm sorry, Councilwoman
something?
Green, you
No,
have
thank
something?
you, sir. No, thank you, sir.
Okay,
Okay, nothing?
okay, nothing? Okay.
Councilman McConnell?
Councilman McConnell?
Nothing? Okay,
Nothing?
Vice Mayor?
Okay, Vice Mayor?
No, I'm just looking forward to us to get competent participants in our civil law issue area. Someone has been asking me if she has any contact information, we could try to invite someone to bring more civil law information. I appreciate it.
I'll certainly go with you, separately, privately.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ready? Anything else, Vice Mayor?
Ready? Anything else, Vice Mayor?
The last
Okay.
thing is that.
The last thing is that,
just getting back to,
Councilwoman Green's comment about working together, it's a very cogent remark and something that we have always endeavored to do.
Keep in mind.
Keep in mind, you know, that as elected
it all
officials,
happens
it all happens here. So if there's anything that we need to do, need to attend to, some ideas that a council person has,
This is the place to bring
this
it
is
up.
the place to bring it up.
And so.
Right, and so we want to be all inclusive, but if we don't know, we can't be all inclusive. So always be mindful of the fact, hear it where it happens. Let us know, and we can talk about it, arrange it. To that point, as it relates to the proposed Community Issues Forum, one of the things, of course, is that
Historically and.
historically, and is that
They haven't been well attended.
they haven't been well
Perhaps
attended.
this is the opportunity
Perhaps
to
this
have them
is the
well
opportunity to have them well
They're
attended.
individuals who
They're
made
individuals who made just
issues,
because of work issues,
whatever it may have been,
whatever it
simply
may
could
have
not
been,
make it
simply
out.
could not make it
Right,
out.
now we have
Right,
captive
now we
audiences.
have captive audiences.
At
People
home.
are now at home.
Right, and so.
Right, and so, however, the prohibition, of course, is that the order's in place, so we can't have a mass gathering, but we can have a mass gathering via the
Internet.
which of course is our YouTube. So I'm in favor of having it.
I would just say
I would just say that in terms of working together, we look at how we want to do this. This is what council does.
A beginning
would be, we get Dr. Alonso to be a part of that community forum, so you can sort of explain where we are,
what needs to be done,
what needs to be done,
what the county should be doing,
and so she can answer questions for our residents. Jonathan from the county, as it relates to housing. Because people right now, young people are trying to buy houses and don't know of programs necessarily. So any ideas that you have in terms of people or entities that we can have be a part of this, because now it's real easy. They could do it at home in their pajamas.
Make sure that.
Well, make sure that they're dressed up top.
So like we all do.
So like
But they
we all
can do it
do.
at home.
But they can do it at
So I
home.
think now is
Right,
that
so I think now is that opportunity
opportunity
to have a broader array of people attending the community forum. Councilwoman Green?
I am so glad you're up. Back up. I thought we were going to leave it. I would like to know if it's possible for us to further discuss and maybe try to get input from the residents or someone who may be listening to Zoom, how we should try to do our issues forum, or whether we should wait or do it now to, you know, and how get the input from the residents. Do they want to wait? Do they want to do it now? Or the council, how, you know, maybe discuss it further so we can all come together and let it be a issues forum of one.
Again, my position would be.
Again, my position would be as soon as we can get it done, because it could be an information gathering forum. It may not be the full forum and where we have all of our residents online, then they can share information with us.
No, that's not what I said.
No, what I'm saying is that perhaps if we were to do it, because now we have them where before school starts and other things, if school is going to start.
It could be
Right, it could be an information gathering situation. A lot of times your first community forum
gathering information.
is gathering information. So I'm yes.
suggesting
can we
that,
find a
can
way
we find
to
a way
make
to
sure that
make sure that everybody has an input of how they
Some
want to
people
do
may
it. Some people may want it this way,
and
you
every
want,
time I say that,
and every time I say that, this is just how we
What
should
I'm
do
trying to
it.
say
What I'm
is,
trying to
can
say
we
is,
discuss
can we discuss a way
to have an issue
to have an issues forum
that would be
inclusive?
I can't put in any more.
I can't put in any more
One's
plainer than
residents
that.
to decide how they want to do the issues.
Yes.
Yes.
And what they want to, what topics they
Oh,
want.
certainly.
And
How-
how we
certainly.
can get
And how we can get everybody included, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
And some people may want to do Zoom, some people may not want to do Zoom, some people may
wait
want
until-
to
let's wait
wait
until
until,
we
let's
can
wait
all
until we can all come, probably
have a place large
have a place large
because you're
enough,
not gonna
because
get
you're not gonna get
150 people.
150 people, we hope we
But
do,
may get enough
but we may get
people
enough
where and we can have
people
it in
where,
the
and we can have it in the community
which would be
center,
large enough
which
where
would
we
be
can
large
have
enough where
it
we could have it and practice special distance. That way you have the people there instead of Zoom. Because let me tell you, when I get on Zoom now, so tired of going Zoom meetings, I have a meeting in my pajamas and I eat breakfast, and when they get through, I turn the
Absolutely. I
TV
know.
on.
Absolutely, I know, and you're correct, we're going through fatigue at this point. But if we're listening to science,
We're probably gonna be
we're probably going to be
this environment for a
in
long
this
time.
environment for a long time.
The
And so
hence,
that,
you know, for
the
me, the
hence,
urgency.
you know, for me, the
Just my one
urgency, just my one position, the urgency. So,
We'll wrap up.
okay, then we'll wrap up. Mhm.
I did indicate that I would want staff to help generate a survey so that we can have the residents be given the opportunity to present their questions and concerns before the forum, so that we will have sufficient professionals here to answer some of the questions. Because if we have the forum and they have questions and we don't have the professionals, that's null and void. So if we get the survey completed prior to the forum, then we know what professionals can answer some of those questions.
But I think in the survey, she wants you to ask if they would be interested in doing it via internet, or would they prefer to do it live with the limited numbers. I think that's what they asked.
Right.
They asked for it.
That can all be included in the survey.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor,
Okay, yes, so we'll
question.
take this comment and then we'll wrap up.
I want to ask a mayor, Vice Mayor a question.
I was just asking
asking a suggestion, how would you do the, how would we do the survey? You know, we could answer it later.
Well, we can,
Oh,
no. Oh, no.
I think the mayor and the town manager are already suggesting.
No, you suggest we do the survey.
Disseminated to all residents. So I'm not gonna be the sole answer on that.
No, I just asked you.
No, I just asked you, how would we do the survey?
It can be done the same way we put out other information to the town. We can do door to door, we can do hangers on the door, you know, whatever's been effective, the most effective form, we can use that form. Put it out the survey.
and keep in mind that.
And keep in mind that as council members, we can talk as long as you like. You know, that's your privilege, your pleasure. But a suggestion, and again, it's always a suggestion.
Since we can't build the.
Since we can't build the forum tonight,
Questionnaire tonight,
or the
get all of
questionnaire
the
tonight, get all of the information to Ken that you might have, any
Right, and as
suggestions?
you talk to your
Right, and as you talk to your neighbors, ask
And
him.
I'll also put
Right, and I'll also put
to,
a charge out to any of our residents who are listening now, who are participating via the YouTube channel. Any suggestions, ideas, recommendations you have as it relates to a community forum? If you could just get that information to the town via a note through the slot in the door, or at 561-848-1235. Thank you so much. Okay, okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'll add to that, anyone that wants to
Or
email,
Or email.
send that to info, I-N-F-O, at townofmangoniapark.com. Info at townofmangoniapark.com.
Thank you so much, Ken.
Thank you so much,
Okay,
Ken.
and we'll try and make
Okay,
sure
and we'll
that
try and make sure that we're all inclusive and we get a very effective
Issues
community
forum.
issues forum. Okay, thanks so much.
One last point, and I'll be quiet. you mentioned Jonathan Brown from the county, and he has already indicated that he would like to be part of that for one reason. They do have a very vital program going right now for foreclosure prevention. He's anxious to get that word out. I think I sent everyone an email the other day. That was good.
Well, certainly.
Oh, certainly. Okay. All righty.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
Okay, good. All righty,
Okay.
and so with
All
that,
righty, and so with that, if there's nothing else as it relates to this particular meeting,
hearing none.
hearing none.
Motion for adjournment?
Motion for adjournment
It's been moved.
has been moved.
Second.
No properly moved and second. All in favor, aye.
Opposed, same
Aye.
sign.
Pose same sign.
It is carried.
It is carried.
Now,
Thanks so
keep in
much.
mind,
Now, keep in mind,
quick
we're
break.
just going to take a quick break. We do have the workshop, so.
So just take a couple minutes.
So just take a couple minutes.
We're going to take
We're going to take, for those who are viewing with us,
Participating via our-
participating via our YouTube channel, we're going to take just a quick break, and then we'll be right back for our workshop. Thank you.
Immediate fault on the.
Immediate fault on the, right.